you buy the average time when you enter into contract is about 30 days. But on a short sale, it can be 30 days, like it can be 4 months. Because if the lender still didn't approve the short sale, it's not guaranteed that you're going to close on time, and it's not guaranteed you're going to have, even if you're going to have the house, even if Hi guys, here another episode of Let's Keep It Real Now. I am Danielle Bilumbu, your host, and we have here
co-host Abu Jabbie with AMP Lending. How y'all doing?
Great. How are you today?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm awesome. But I would like to talk today about a heavy subject. You know, unfortunately, we put people in houses, which is an amazing experience, and everybody love it and excited. You know, the excitement. You get your home, you become a homeowner, which is the American dream that we see a lot.
Most definitely.
Because a lot of things are based on land in this country, but sometimes people get in trouble.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe somebody passed away, somebody they lose the job or whatever. And then we have also had COVID, which put a lot of people under a very bad situation.
Yeah.
And then, so sometimes people cannot pay their mortgage.
Yeah.
And you've seen that a lot, right?
Yeah. I get phone calls all the time, and people call and they're like, hey, I'm behind on my mortgage. Do you know somebody that would look to purchase the home from us, or do you know of any programs that can assist us in trying to get us caught up on our mortgage? And, you know, most of the times I tell them about modifications. Yeah.
And then a lot of people during the pandemic were on forbearance.
Yeah.
And then a lot of investors thought, woohoo, we're going to make money.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to go foreclosure, just like what happened in 2007, 2008. They thought they're going to become rich. You know, a lot of investors were calling me. So what do you think? What do you think? Right? But the government kind of did a good job with helping and keeping and maintaining people in their home.
Yeah.
A lot of people were not able to get foreclosed by the lender, and usually lender, you guys don't really like to foreclose people anyway, right?
Not at all, because then you have to take over the note.
Yeah. And it's considered a non-performing asset.
Exactly.
Which is not good for your guys' business, because sometimes the lender, they have to resell this loan, right? It needs to look good on the economy. You know,
it goes to all the job reports, all the data that's out there as far as how the economy's going. So most definitely you want to keep everything flourish, keep that interest going to where the bank's making their money and people are feeling safe on purchasing homes and also depositing money in the bank as well.
Yeah. And then a lot of, most lenders that just don't like doing foreclosure.
No,
and you know, I realized that I didn't know. I thought, oh, maybe you don't pay 1 month and they right away you're going to get foreclosed, right? But what I realized with years and the experience that I have is sometimes you see some client, they call me and say, hey, could you help me sell my home? But they haven't paid mortgage for like 6 months, sometime a year. And then because of COVID, some of them, I sold one big home last year in the middle of the summer, and that one was under foreclosure for 8 months.
Yeah.
Every month they were receiving the letter, hey, your home will be sold the first Tuesday of next month in 21 day, whatever rule it is.
Yeah.
And every month nobody was buying the property, right? Because when you get foreclosed, they place your property on auction.
Yeah.
And then somebody needs to be able to take over to buy based on the number.
They get it at a cheaper
price.
Yeah.
But also the lender have a reserve, like they have a minimum they're willing to sell the property. Let's say, for example, you owe $300,000 on the home. And the lender will place it on auction. They maybe have a minimum, a reserve amount when they place your home on auction. And then let's say the reserve is like, I don't know, 180 at a minimum. So whoever is going to come and bid on the house, if they don't have that 180 minimum, maybe, well, they will not sell the home at all on auction. They're going to keep it. So that's why you see a lot of people still be in their home after 6 months, because every month is getting placed back on the market. And then if nobody's buying it, you can still stay there, right?
Yeah. I've experienced that with clients as well, where I've had buyers that were coming in to buy short sales. We have a seller that's making all these demands. Well, I'm not going to fix this, or I don't have to do this. And they know that they can stay there rent free. And they just try to drag the process along because for some of them, they don't have a place to go.
Yeah, a lot of people, yeah.
Yeah.
But the good news is lately.
Yeah. I mean, FHA just came out with some updating information stating that they're going to be able to do a 40-year mortgage for a modification now on people that are behind on their mortgages. So that's going to help out a lot of people. A lot of people.
Yes. And then for a lot of people, they were in forbearance because of COVID. The number is very, very low. So as far, are we going to see a lot of foreclosure? I don't think so because they're still working with them. And with this new rule, they're coming May 8th, right?
Yeah, May 8th. It's going to take an effect May 8th. And if you are behind on your mortgage and you have a Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac backed loan, you'll be able to qualify to get the 40-year mortgage going.
This is good. So usually, how do you qualify for that? What's some of the steps that people have to do in order to just do a regular loan modification?
So basically, you have to be behind on your mortgage at least 90 days or more. Once that is taken into place, then you can do an actual application with your mortgage provider, and then they go ahead and start the process.
Okay. And then when they start the process, is there any specific document you have to show them the reason why you're behind?
Well,
do you have to tell them, hey, I lost my job, here's the proof, I get unemployment? Is there stuff that you have to prove in general?
Yeah, so basically when you contact them to let them know that you're behind on your mortgage, they're going to ask you, okay, well, what's the reasoning behind it? What are the circumstances? So you're able to show them proof of I lost my job or my husband died. Here's the will. I can provide you his will. He was the primary breadwinner in the family, and without his income being here, we're behind. I need some help. I need to try to recover. So yeah, depending upon the situation, everything is case by case. They're able to go ahead and provide that information and get the process and the ball rolling.
Could you be rejected? Like, it's not
Most
everybody
definitely.
that can be approved for that, right?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything's case by case.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when you're in forbearance like that, how long usually, do you have an idea how long the process will take?
The process can take probably up to 2 months to 6 weeks to complete the process. But again, it depends on your mortgage company and how fast they move.
Okay. And then so before, people need to understand, so when you're forbearance and then the lender approve to do a loan modification, is the rate is not necessarily guaranteed to stay the same, right?
No. The whole loan is going to be an actual new loan itself. So
Okay.
depending upon what the modification standards are for that product that you're doing, it's going to accompany by that actual rate.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so you pretty much reset yourself for another 30 years. So if you were 15 years in and then you can't pay your mortgage anymore and you have to ask the lender to do a loan modification, all the fees that you owe them, they're going to pull it back inside. Just know everything that you do in America has a cost.
Exactly.
So if your loan was just 100,000 and you're behind payment, they add all these fees. They can add in on top of it, so your 100,000 can become 180, and you put yourself for another 30 years. But at least you will not be kicked out of your home.
Exactly. And then the same thing to it with them having a 40-year mortgage, you're going to have a cheaper actual payment depending upon how much you owe with that principal balance. So the program itself is here to help. Yeah.
So, but in case somebody start feeling they may be in trouble, if you're like, you see it coming, we know, so oftentimes, except you absolutely live paycheck to paycheck and you're always negative every single month. So the minute you have a trouble, you'll be, but you kind of seen it happen. Sometimes you can just go ahead and put your property on the market and sell it before it gets crazy.
That's, and the thing about what I see with a lot of clients is it's a pride thing. You're behind on your mortgage, or you see that you're going to be behind, and it's kind of an embarrassment, so they wait till the last minute. They try to hold on and see if they can do this, that, or the other, when you can try to unload that debt, downsize, and go ahead and move according to your situation and what you have going on.
Yeah, and right now, because of what happened in the economy and the home value, a lot of owners have a lot of equity on their home.
Yeah.
So that pride needs to be on the side a little bit, because if you do have a lot of equity, and you're a little bit behind, don't just sit there and take a chance to lose everything. Put the home on the market, cash it out, and then go get yourself something. Maybe rent for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Come back, into your feet, and don't let your credit score go to the trash, right?
Exactly.
Because when you get foreclosed, how long until you're able to buy
in
a
some
home?
situations with FHA, it can be up to 3 to 5 years before you can purchase again. So,
and what about conventional?
Conventional, with that situation, we're looking at, I think, about 6 years. About 6 years.
Yeah. So yeah. And then when you do a short sale, short sale also affect your. It still count, and it's still going to affect your credit.
Foreclosure, correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then, but it's a little bit shorter than the foreclosure.
Correct. I mean, it looks better, but at the end of the day, it still affects your credit. So at the end of the day, depending upon your family situation, you have people depending on you. You don't know what you're going to need that credit for. You don't want to wait to the last minute to where it puts you in that type of bind.
And when you do a short sale, it's not always guaranteed that you will be approved by the lender. I've been in a situation in the past where I have a client, I was representing the buyers, and then we submitted an offer on a short sale. Great deal, great opportunity for him. And then sometime, I don't know, some people will see, realtor will see that often. We look on MLS, we see the property is a short sale, but sometimes the agent will place the short sale as not being approved. So meaning that's the price that we think is going to work for the lender, but it's not necessarily approved. We're still undergoing the process. So if the listing agent has no idea what they're doing, it can take a long time. So if you buyer, the average time when you enter into the contract is about 30 days. But on the short sale, it can be 30 days, like it can be 4 months. Because if the lender still didn't approve the short sale, it's not guaranteed that you're going to close on time, and it's not guaranteed you're going to have, even if you're going to have the house, even if buyer and seller agree on the price. And then sometime if the house is listed at $250, for example, and then the short sale, the $250 will cover whatever the seller think he owe. Sometime the lender can come back with even more fees, and that price will not be able to cover everything. And then the buyer will have to come up with more money out of pocket to be able to meet the requirement if they really, really want that house.
Yeah.
And then I remember when I had my client and we were under contract, we entered into contract somewhere around November. And the short sale was in the process to be approved. We were waiting. That was Bank of America. Yeah, do I have the right to say the name of the bank?
You can.
Bank of America, please don't sue me. It's just an example. That was back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and then my client, we entered into contract somewhere around November, and then we were waiting. It was just a long waiting game. The seller was waiting, the buyer was waiting, everybody was waiting, and then guess what? In March, Bank of America sold the house on auction, and then the seller got somebody knock on his door and say, "Hey, friend, I just bought this house, so I would need you to please move out." And we were under contract. All the stuff on escrow. Of course, we have our escrow money, the earnest money back from my buyer, but my buyer lost his appraisal money because we can't go after the seller. He didn't have any money, so it didn't happen. They can still sell the property on auction. That's what happened to us at that time. And then
While y'all were under contract.
While we are under contract. So be careful with that. If you out there and you're trying to buy a short sale because it could be a good deal for you, just double check to make sure the lease price really cover everything that the lender will need. Double check that the short sale really has been approved. That's very, very important.
Yeah.
And then and do your due diligence, and every week every month check the auction.com. And check what's going on and see, if the property is listed on auction or not.
Wow.
Because it could happen that they sell it right under your feet, and it's crazy.
Wow. While you're under contract.
Yeah. Huh? That was very sad. I remember the listing agent was very distraught. My client was very, very sad because we were waiting for a long time.
Get it done.
To get it done. He knew that was the perfect home for him, but hey, that was sad. But so be careful with short sale. Yeah. And then but if you are in a position where you're about to lose your home in foreclosure, just like Abu said earlier, put your pride on the side and
Yeah.
call people to really truly help you. Get a home evaluation from a realtor. Let them run the comp for you and tell you exactly how much you can sell your home for, even if the home is in a crappy condition. You have tons of investors that be willing to pay cash or invest into your property.
Yeah.
And then as long you always make sure you know how much you really owe with your land. You call them, what's my payoff amount? And then they will tell you. And then you see how much equity is on your home. You price it in a way you can walk away with some cash. And then, or what you can do if your loan is assumable,
Yeah. You can have somebody assume.
you can have somebody else. I know VA, most of VA loan are assumable,
or
right?
Assumable. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
most of VA loan are assumable. Assumable meaning somebody can take over
Exactly.
for you.
They can take over the note.
So a lot of investors will be very interested. I do work with a lot of investors. They do that and they look for deals like that. So let's say you have your home, and then you owe and you're behind. Somebody else can take over and assume the loan for you, and then maybe you can negotiate with them for them to give you cash to move out, and also a little bit of cash for you to start life fresh, and they'll take over your mortgage payment. But remember, the mortgage loan is still under your name. They take over your deed, so they own the property, right? They own the deed, but they're not on the mortgage. The mortgage is still you who's letting them take over and make payment. So always make sure they can refinance that pretty quickly, or make sure the deal is together. Put it under a trust or something, so you can still check what's going on. Because if they don't make make the payment, you're still responsible for that mortgage. And then some lender, if they find out at the last minute that you did not sell and pay them up, they can require for you to pay right away. If the deed, they can force the note right away, like the same day. They say, "Oh, you decide to sell it, you decide to have somebody else take over the mortgage payment. Pay me my $250,000 now," and they have the right to request that. So check your mortgage document and if it's okay or not for you. But I know most lender, they're not necessarily will come after you because y'all just want money.
They just want the money.
Doesn't matter how it comes.
As long as they're not paying for it, somebody else is paying.
Exactly.
Good to go. As long as it's legal.
Yeah, but that's something a lot of investors do. I have a client, she like doing that. So out there, if you're in that case and you need someone to help you take over your loan, reach out to me. I have somebody for you. That's her thing. Actually, two of them. That's their thing. They really love that. I love that. What else that you think people should pay attention?
Well, when it comes to trying to get a modification or, well, again, I mean, it's just one of those things where you don't want to wait to the last minute. You don't want to wait to the last minute. If you see the writing on the wall, try to go ahead and see if you can do something to try to get out of the tangle that you're in. I would advise, if you have friends or family, you could try to reach out to them. It's not something that, keep it as a secret. Just try to help yourself out. That would be the only thing that I would advise. Yeah,
always keep the communication open with your lender anyway, because at the end of the day, the people behind the computer, they're still human.
Yeah.
And they may be willing to work with you.
Just see what you can work out instead of waiting till the last minute to where, your options are smaller and you're not able to try to figure it out.
Okay, guys. So hopefully you learned a lot today, and you do have some guidance for you to start. The good news, once again, is they extended to 40 years.
Yeah.
The loan modification instead of just 30. But make sure you talk to a lawyer or your CPA, the lender, and the proper professional so you can make the best informed decision for yourself. Do not stay hide. Do not go in hibernation. Just talk to somebody.
Address it.
Yeah, we're here, right?
Yeah.
So Abu is fun information out here. It can help you understand your loan and your mortgage information and help you with that. I'm here if you need anything more advice, maybe home evaluation and things of that nature, and see how we can guide you, or even find you an investor that will be able
to take
it off your hand for you before it's too late. So always remember, you do have a team. People are here to help you. Just ask the question.
That's it.
Yes. Hopefully you learn a lot once again. Make sure to follow up, subscribe, and all our social media. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.